How are we feeling today, audio? Are you ready to capture us?
Look at this.
Oh, the little midriff.
Yeah, do you like it? Oh my goodness.
I'm so happy to be here with you.
Oh, it's a joyous day, truly. Or night, you don't know.
You have no idea. You have no idea. Why am I so excited to be here specifically? Well, first of all, audio listeners, it's always a pleasure to be with you. Always. And visual viewers, I'm sure it's always a pleasure to view us.
Visual viewers.
Oh, true.
What other forms of viewing are there?
Auditory. Conceptual.
Touch.
Yes.
Taste.
Post-apocalyptic.
Oh. Marine. Spatial.
Yes. Temporal. Well, let's introduce ourselves. Okay,
hello, everybody. My name is Zach. I'm one of your co-hosts here on Twink Twank Twunk. I am scuba certified, but I don't know how to swim.
And my name is DIVOS, your favorite piece of walking, talking visual art. We're laughing because for some reason, it doesn't make any sense. That line in every episode cuts out. Like, the microphone doesn't pick it up. Like, it picks up the entire rest of the episode, but when I say my catchphrase, like my punchline, whatever, punchline. Bam! Ah! We'll see if it picked it up that time, but I am your favorite piece of walking, talking visual art. Yes, existing at the intersection of glamour and comedy. It's nice to meet you.
Buckle your seatbelts.
I kind of cut that out, the seatbelt part, huh?
Yeah, well,
I don't say it as much anymore. Okay, I have to take this jacket off. This looks cute, right? But I can't.
It's too hot.
It's too hot.
I know. Honestly, I'm sweating a little bit in this sweater.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not nervous. Just a little hot. So we just upgraded our studio lights, like some very high quality stuff. So like, it's, they're hot.
Ceilings. We actually have like lights coming from the floor now, which is interesting.
Tech. Can we boost the air in here, please? Yes. Thanks, Steve. we're an auditory pod today.
Yes. ASMR. ASM artists. Can you get behind that?
ASM artists?
When I heard that that's what the ASMR community was calling themselves.
Oh, that wasn't a joke?
It wasn't a joke. It wasn't a joke, but thank you for giving me credit for that.
That was good.
So one thing I did recently is I branched out. I made some new friends. Oh. I'm going to talk about Snapchat, my experience at Snapchat in a little bit, but I was at the after party for the event that I was at, and this person, Brooke, who is like, she's like that bitch at Snapchat. She's like London, Paris, France, Tokyo, like doing all of the like Snap schools, running everything. She's so cool. I'm a fellow queer person in Snapchat, which is really cool. But she's like very like go. Mm-hmm. But I caught her off guard with one of my jokes, which means I know it was because like I like catching people off guard. They're like, oh, that was funny. Like that was really. we have a friend Michael. Michael's first shout out in a long time. It should have been Megan Lee.
It should have been Megan Lee. You got lucky this time. He caught us off guard.
He caught us off guard with a good one. Explain good one.
So we kind of realized that every time every time Michael would make a joke, we'd be like, wow, Michael, that was a good one. Like, that's a good one, Michael. He's like, God, I make good jokes all day. We're like, no, Michael, you get one good one a day. One good one.
So implying that there's only like one joke that comes out of his mouth every day that's like, oh, that was like actually funny. Wow.
I interpret it more like we only allow him one good one a day. Right, he only gets one joke.
That's the one he can send in for his homework assignment.
Yeah. He gets one upload.
But so Brooke was in the after party, and she's like, you guys, like, I'm sorry, like, I promise I'm not like being that girl, but these are like prescription sunglasses, so like I'm gonna be wearing my sunglasses inside. And they were like super cool sunglasses. And without missing a beat, I go, yeah, Brooke, so my heels are also prescription.
You're orthopedic.
Yeah, literally. I got my Dr. Scholl's in there. And she was like, did you just do that off the dome? I was like, that's what I was, yes, that's my job.
That's really, really funny. That's good off the dome. I will say something I've realized is, since I've known you, my comedy it's improved.
Elevated?
It's elevated. I mean, I'm not sure if you remember, but when you first met me, my comedy was sending memes I found on iFunny to other people or describing them in person. And that was kind of like my go-to form of comedy.
Sure.
I actually think I've evolved a little bit. And no small part to yourself.
I think you're very funny.
I'm very funny.
Yeah, and you made it your own. It's like I exist constantly trying to find the joke all the time.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a very fun way to exist. I get it if it's not for everyone, whatever. But I think being around me so much, you found more jokes.
Yeah,
they've come to you.
100%. I think I look for comedy more too, which is awesome. I'll give you an example. When I was working my corporate job,
come on,
some time ago,
back in the day,
how I would get through the day is literally like finding inadvertently like little jokes. For example, did you know that Bank of America is shortened to B of A? So I'll be doing some like international wires, and I'll see BOFA pop up.
BOFA,
BOFA, as in both of these nuts.
Yes, Bank of America. We're looking to corporate sponsorship. So if you're available, we would love to collaborate. You can get both of these podcasters to shout you out.
Okay, tell me about Snapchat.
Okay, wait. Can we finish? I want to finish your comedy. For a second.
Yes.
So first, if you want to check out Zach's comedy, the Twitter is finally really running and going at full force, and that is Zach's project. So it is truly, that is like all you, right?
It's all me. Oh, what?
I'm sorry, audio listeners, I just kicked you.
Audio listeners, are you okay? Audio listeners, blink twice if you're okay. Okay, thank God. I was worried.
But so yeah, check out the Twitter. I think you're really hitting home your comedy there, which is great. But that's what you know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
The podcast is both of us, and in case anyone didn't realize, I do all the promos for the other socials. So it's nice to have like your comedic point of view on Twitter.
I want to get corporate sponsorships through that Twitter as well. I think that's the place to do it, is on Twitter.
We were thinking it'd be really fun, and we can audio listeners, visual viewers. I guess audio listeners and visual viewers is the same thing. It's the same level of stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
there's no justifying it.
No. But audio listeners just seems better than visual
I agree.
for some reason.
But if you ever are bored, feel free to go around on social media. Just comment Twink, Twank, or Twunk on anything. And then tag the podcast.
And we will follow up.
We'll follow up. And, we need to get the word out about the pod. It's time to start growing. We're developed.
Speaking of development, I was thinking the other day, I could bring stickers abroad. And maybe we print a brand of stickers that has like the
social.
Like the socials on it. Tag them in like international airports or like in ancient temples, like.
Well,
and protected wildlife sanctuaries
on babies that we pass by on the street.
On babies we pass by.
Yeah.
Here's what I can do. Oh, this is genius. I could get like a whole suitcase full of stickers. And like, I don't have time to like pass them all out. So I'll leave the suitcase in the airport and then just walk away. And whoever wants it can just take stickers.
That's such a great idea.
Isn't that a great idea?
It would be awesome as well if maybe you like put like a speaker in there.
Oh.
And you're like, okay, well, you only have like 30 minutes to find all the stickers. So it's like a
down.
Beep. Yeah, or it counts down.
So, and then it counts down and it opens like, guys, the big reveal's in 30 minutes.
Like, hurry, come quick.
Hurry, 30, 29, 28.
But I do want to talk about, well, actually, I want to do two things. First, I want to break the Megan Lee thing and shout out another one of our friends. Mackenzie Elias. Hi, Mackenzie. Mackenzie Elias, you mentioned in my comedy and my humor, I like to find like the funny things in like everyday life. I got that from Mackenzie and I love that. Like if there is like a sock in the middle of the road, instead of being like, ew, like what is that sock doing there? It's like take a glamour picture of the sock and be like, oh my god, that sock is giving. Like, I hope she looked both ways before she started crossing. You know what I mean? It's like finding the little things in life that instead of being one way about it, just find the humor.
Yeah.
And she also was the one that got me on saying like are not euphemisms, but like phrases randomly where it's like, not on my watch, or gee willikers, or what in the world?
That was Mackenzie?
That was Mackenzie.
Oh, that's super sweet.
I know.
No way.
I'm a culmination of all the best jokes that all my friends have ever made.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And then a little bit of makeup.
I know. Wait, kind of in a similar vein. I've been talking to people before. You truly are the proverbial you, but a person really is just the people that they surround themselves with. You know? So it's like, I consider myself incredibly lucky all the time because like I'm surrounded by amazing people. I have great friends, I have great family, and sometimes I'll sit and ponder and think like, how did I get so lucky? Like truly, how did I get so lucky? Mm-hmm. But I mean, I think part of it is like they also then built me into a person that they like being with. So it all kind of just feeds into each other, in my opinion, and just it's cool to look at yourself and see your friends reflected in you.
Oh yeah,
I think it's very sweet.
It's a positive feedback loop.
It is a positive feedback.
Before we circle back, check back in, close the loop, and make sure we're following through on our deliverables for this podcast, I do want to say Happy Almost Pride Month!
Yay!
This outfit is the outfit that I wore for the Hamburger Mary's float in the West Hollywood Pride Parade last year. I will be making my triumphant return to the West Hollywood Pride Parade. If you're going to be in West Hollywood for Pride, I will be on the Hamburger Mary's float / walking in front of it again this year. But this was a culmination of all my Pride looks last year. I wanted to do every color. I styled it a little differently than I would have, and I don't think I would wear this look again necessarily, but I think it was like a fun memory, so I wanted to commemorate it on the podcast. And it's also very exciting. We'll talk more about the Patreon later in the podcast, but my little sister has been added to our art team, and she made the sticker for this week, as well as the Zach sticker for this one.
Which I love. That. Well, shout out Tiffany. I love that Tiffany made it. It adds cool personal elements.
Totally. And we thought that Greta needed a partner in crime. So that's why we aged Zach just like 5-10 years for this sticker to fit in with the Greta character.
They put me back in a corporate job for another year.
Right.
And then booted me out the other side.
Yeah, what would have happened?
Yeah. I looked in the mirror the other day. I saw bags under my eyes, and I was like,
it's happening.
It's happening.
Okay, well, we'll stop edging the Snapchat conversation. I'll talk about that quickly so we can move on.
Yes.
It's like sitting in the back of my head waiting to come out. So I got to go to Snapchat, the headquarters again. Hi, Snapchat. And I was on a panel for essentially everyone on their team that does like development, that does like product, that does like the engineering. Basically, they wanted creators that are focused on Snapchat to come in and speak about their experience. And of course, I made it as gay as possible. I was like, so what are we doing for Pride Month? And I don't know if I can say it. Maybe, okay, but it's possible that DIVOS has a very exciting connection to Snapchat for Pride Month. And we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there and see what happens. But it was very cool to be there. I wore a gown for the first time.
You looked amazing in the gown, too.
Thank you for the gown.
Thank you for the gown.
That was a Violet Chachki dress she wore touring with Dita Von Teese.
Oh,
which is like
seriously?
an iconic nightlife. Yeah. Thank God it was a stretch fabric. If you know, you know.
I mean, why do you think Snapchat was kind of the way, like the platform that you took off on as DIVOS? You know, in my opinion, I mean, you were on TikTok for a while. You're on Instagram. I feel like Snapchat is like DIVOS' platform. You know,
With all social media, I don't ask any questions. If something does well, I say thank you so much, and I start working on the next thing. I can't spend time like looking at the numbers or wondering why or how or what. Like, I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, and then if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, I still liked it. So pass on that question.
Okay. Well, I guess how about this? A little shameless self-promoting. How do people find you on Snapchat? Because sometimes I think the page where you can really view your challenges can be a bit tricky to find. Can you walk us through the exact way to find it?
Well, first of all, you can scan this QR code to go straight to my page. But the way that a public profile works on Snapchat, there is like, I can curate my stories for the day and then turn it into like a highlight. So then you can go back and watch. Like, I have a highlight for my day at the Snapchat HQ that you can go watch and see what that all was like. I have like Coachella, etc. So basically big events I turn into like days, and that's on one panel of the page. If you swipe over again, it's something called Spotlight, which is like Snapchat's For You page, and that's where I post all of the like the contest content, which we're transitioning to doing other things at Snapchat coming up very soon.
Ooh.
I know. And so we also post, I'm putting a lot of like my favorite podcast promos on there, and basically any content that I think is viral material is what we put on that.
Well, it's all viral material.
It's all. Thank you so much.
I was gonna say.
I was being humble. I was gonna be humble.
Humble. On Snapchat.
Yeah.
I think the best way for our viewers to find you, scan the QR code. We'll
Scan the QR code.
pop it up one more time.
We'll pop it up one more time.
And you know what? And maybe one more time.
See, Zach's fucking with me right now. Zach has this really cute habit he's begun to develop where he will be like, oh, we'll just go ahead and put it on the screen.
Knowing full well that it's Devin that is editing it to put it on the screen.
I edit all of it, which is I want to, it's fine. But I just think it's funny when all of a sudden things are popping on the screen. How did they get there?
I know.
They just appeared. It's amazing.
It's insane. Like, look, this shocked reaction gif. Oh,
oh no, we're underwater. Lightning!
Is that dragon?
Cut.
No more. You are overworked already. I personally think Snapchat is awesome. Like, it gave you such a cool platform. And like gave DIVOS a chance to grow. That's cool.
It gave us this podcast. Thank you, Snapchat.
Thank you, Snapchats.
So what about you, Zach?
What about me?
Tell me what's going on in the world of Zach.
Well, when this episode airs, I will be done with my corporate job.
Done.
I'll be out the door, caboose behind me. No. Wait, will I be?
It depends how you want. If you want to walk out forwards or backwards.
Oh. I'm going side. I'm going pelvis first.
Crotch forward.
So by the time this airs, I'll be done with my corporate job. And then at that point, I get to enjoy LA for a week. Get to enjoy San Diego for a week.
Oh, that's a good topic. You have 1 week in LA.
Yes.
What are the 5 things you have to do? 5 things.
I need to see the Griffith Observatory for the first time. That
is crazy.
I have been here for, audience listeners, I have been in LA for 6 years. 6 years. And I have never been to the Griffith Observatory. I have never been to the Getty Villa. And I have never done the Hollywood hike.
I just don't know what to say to that, to be honest.
Well, you came from the East Coast, so it was very novel to you. Like, growing up in San Diego, my dad called LA Smell-A. So, like, I was like, like, LA wasn't, like, bright and shining to me. You know,
you never wanted to but Griffith is like so beautiful.
That's why I need to check it off the list.
I went up one day for 4th of July. For some reason, I was like alone on the 4th of July.
Oh no!
Sad. Oh, I'm such a charity case. Anyone would be my friend. I'm begging. I'm searching.
Please.
Slowly, I am so lonely. I have nobody to call my own. And we watched the fireworks. It wasn't a we. I was alone. And it was like so cool. Like literally everywhere you look, there were fireworks.
That is really, really cool.
It's crazy. You just haven't like explored the mountain.
I've been on the mountain before. I've driven close to the Hollywood sign. I've hiked back there. So I've done things on the mountain, on the hill. I've just never done like the iconic tourist stuff.
Yeah, but those are things that you haven't done. If you have 1 week in LA, you only want to do things you haven't done. You don't want to do any like things.
Oh no, well, I want to do things I have done as well. I want to go
to the Bayou at midnight on Thursdays for Big and Easy by Lilo Moore.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I don't know what you were.
Right out of my mouth.
Sorry, what do you want to do?
I want to surf almost every single day I can. Ooh, I want to go night surfing too.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, if there's a full moon, it's best. But if not, it's just kind of fun and goofy.
That's giving Jaws.
Many years ago, you're familiar with the bioluminescence, right?
Yes.
For those of you that don't know, it's this, I believe, plankton or algae that like every couple years comes in like a swarm to the coast of Southern California. And what will happen is it will literally light up the ocean. It's like when waves crash, you'll see like bright flashes of light as it crests across. Wow. When you walk on the sand, your footsteps will light up because it's like gets on the sand as well. Really cool. So one time I went surfing in the bioluminescence when it was there, and it was awesome.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I had these like really cool like black light flashlight, and I was like walking around the house, and I brought it in your room, and I think it kind of looks similar to what you're describing bioluminescence to be like.
There are bioluminescence in my room.
For when you surf.
For when I surf, because I'm a surfer.
Tell us about the Patreon, Zach.
I will tell you about the Patreon. We've been getting a lot of very good support so far. And as always, every single week, we cannot thank you all from the bottom of our heart for subscribing to the Patreon and supporting the podcast. Obviously, if you want DIVOS' sticker of this week with this retro 2022 Pride outfits, it's unique, it's retro, it's big and bombastic. And again, as Divos mentioned earlier in the pod, my sticker is the grandpa look this month. So if you want access to those stickers as well as the rest of the stickers of the pod this month, please subscribe to the Patreon. It means everything. We write little handwritten notes to you and we send the stickers of the month.
Thank you. It's been a while since we've gone over it, so just check out the Patreon. There are 4 different tiers for support, and based on this tiers, you get different numbers of stickers, like Zach was saying.
Exactly. Personally, one cool part that I like, if you subscribe to some of the top 3 tiers, you actually get access to the forum on Patreon. So you can come in, give us ideas, start a conversation. If you want to see something goofy on the podcast, that's the place to do it. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, what were you talking about?
What I want to do before I leave Los Angeles.
Yes, in your 1 week.
I know. I want to spend time with my friends.
Okay.
Is the big one. I don't really need like a big going away party. I just kind of want a night with all my friends there, have fun, say goodbye, all that good stuff. So I won't be gone long, to be fair.
What about food? All I think about is food.
All I think about is food?
Yeah, where do you need to eat? Like Killer Noodle, like...
Yes, I want to go to Killer Noodle, the most delicious ramen place in Sawtell.
Get the Tokyo style with soup, 3-3.
Yes, easy.
Thank me later.
I want to get Korean barbecue in K-Town.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
That'd be really fun.
Chipotle.
Chipotle. I wonder if they have Chipotle in the areas of Asia you're going to. Maybe like the big cities.
Maybe.
Actually, probably not.
I'm not going to get Chipotle even if they do have it.
They had it in London. Well, you say that, but when you're like in another country for like a long time, sometimes it's really nice to be like, okay, I just need to eat something.
That is true. That's actually how I felt in London when we stopped for Chipotle.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said you're not going to be gone for that long. I've been going back and forth a lot about this. Do you think 6 months is a long time? Like, do you think it's going to go fast? Do you think it's going to feel like a long time?
I think it's going to go by really. I'm kind of scared of how fast I think it's going to go by. Wow. Like, I'll be at like 3 or 4 months and be like, oh my God, I only have like 2 months left. You know?
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, wow.
Well, I think about it in terms of like my senior year of college, right? It was a long time, or like that last 10 weeks or 2 quarters. Yeah, that was a long time, but it went by so, like all of a sudden I was like a week away from graduating. I was like, I did tons of cool stuff, but like, oh my God, that went by so fast.
Yeah, I think my counterpoint to that is college, by the time you're a senior, it's all very familiar. Like, you know how to go to class, you know how, like, while you're doing fun things, like, the context is very familiar. And so I think that's kind of why the end of college might feel really fast, because I've thought about that a lot too. But like when you're traveling, I think you just are always seeing new things. You're literally never doing something you've done before. That's true. I think that does make time feel longer, which is something to look forward to. I don't want you to feel like you're like, yeah. No,
that is a really good point. I think it will feel like stretched out a lot longer. My goal is just by the end, it's like, I'm like antsy to go home, as opposed to like I wish
home. I could stay longer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, I think 6. I mean, that's why I wanted to do 6 months. I think that's the right amount of time for that. Yeah, that's the goal, right? To do enough and see enough and experience enough that at the end, like at 5 months, I'm like, oh, I want to go home, but like, let me see this through like another couple weeks. You know, like that would be the dream.
Can I be vulnerable?
You may.
We went out last night, so we were a little drunk. And I was putting up, we have a visitor wall, which is like a spiral, right? And we decided, we've done it different in every house/apartment. It's like a visitor wall where you take Polaroids every time someone comes over.
It's really cute.
Yeah, we haven't been as good in the house as we have been in other places, but we need to start taking more photos. Yeah. Anyway, I was like, wow, like there's going to be a whole arc and there's just going to be no Zach. And then it's going to be like, he comes back and sees like all the arc that he wasn't there. And like, that's like not good or bad. It's just like kind of interesting, kind of crazy. But why I want to be vulnerable is you gotta go. I'm like I can't do this. Like, okay, it's almost time to go. It feels like you've been about to leave for like 8 months. I'm like, I'm so done. I'm like, please just leave so you can come back.
Like, I announced the plan like 3 months ago.
I'm like, please just leave. Not 3 months ago. You mean a year ago? You've been talking about traveling with Sarah for
a year?
I think like as soon as she left, maybe not
a year. In November, I think would be.
Okay, well that's not 3 months ago. That's 9 months ago.
Well, no, but November's like 6 months ago.
November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 9. Okay, 7 months. Still. I'm like emotionally preparing for you to leave for 7 months. At this point, like, just fucking go.
My flights are booked.
Can you go?
My flights are booked.
I'm done. I've like had it. It's like exhausting.
I'm excited to come back and like hear about things you guys have been doing for the last 6 months, like how things have changed. Like I think that's kind of like, do you remember when you went abroad? Actually, when you were abroad for a couple of months, I kind of love that you came back and had all these experiences to talk about and like
new content.
Yeah, it was almost like you got to be reintroduced to like a really good friends again. But this time around, you're going to be best friends, you know? So you get to like find out, like, I'm going to change, I'm abroad. You're going to change in 6 months' time here. And like, when we live together, the changes are just so gradual, you don't notice them. But after 6 months, I can come back and be like, whoa, like, this has changed, this has changed, this has changed. Like, that's so cool. Because it's going to be positive changes, you know? Unless your hair starts falling out. That wouldn't be a good change.
Why the fuck would you say that? Wait, that actually leads into the bit of the week I want to do. But before we do that, I just thought of something that would be hilarious. Someone named Alexis Stone is this like drag queen. She's never been on like any of the franchises of Drag Race. She's made herself completely famous. And what she does is she does unbelievable special effects makeup and shows up to like Balenciaga runways as like Jessica Lange. Or like she shows up to like a Balenciaga runway as Lana Del Rey and like literally is unclockable, except she's way taller than Lana Del Rey. But she got one of her big like social media campaigns that really got her together. She's had a few iconic ones, but the one that I'm thinking is for 4 months, she had the entire world convinced that she had the most extreme and ridiculous plastic surgery. She would not leave her own house or tell any of her friends without putting on the prosthetics. And they're so good, no one could tell. And then after like 6 months, she posts an Instagram video and she rips off her face and reveals that it had all been like a prank, a ruse. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That's insane. Oh my god.
So imagine like I stopped FaceTiming you the last month in Asia, and then you cut back, and my lips are like, you know, I have like pumped up the cheekbones. I'm like,
that's really funny. Oh, hi, Zach. Welcome back.
Zach, it's so good to see you.
Zach, it's so good to see you.
Zach, it's really nice that you're back. I missed you a lot.
Zach, you were gone for so long.
Yeah, come here. Give me that kiss.
Give me a...
Oh, my God.
Give me a smooth.
It's Jennifer Coolidge now.
Oh, Jennifer Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge with a little bit of plastic surgery. Oh, my God. Okay, wait. The bit of the week.
Bit of the week.
So you talked about my hair falling out. That was unhinged, out of control. I hope when, you know, I've had the surgery, I'm taking the meds. I really hope when I see you in 6 months that the power alleys aren't so far back I have bowling. So the bit of the week. So there was a period after college where my mom was like, what am I supposed to tell my friends like that you're doing? You know, I was like, you know, doing a little bit of babysitting. I was like tutoring kids. I was editing podcasts.
Well, it's the gig economy.
I was in the gig economy. And she's like, what do I tell them? Like, blah, blah, blah. I come from a very, like, corporate environment. So it's from the East Coast. You know. Like, lots of lawyers, lots of politicians' kids. It's just, like, a lot of, you know, oh, my kid's in med school. Oh, she just got her law degree. Like, et cetera, et cetera.
It's very braggy about you.
Very braggy. And my mom's, like, not, like, ashamed or anything. She's like, what do I tell them? And so this was at a time where I had
What do I say?
What do I say? For the love of God, I'm lost. This was at a time before I had, you know, come into my opulence and my glamour. So I was still fishing for a little bit of money from my parents for the hair transplant. So I was like, well, tell all your friends I'm pre-op.
Oh.
Well, how's Devin doing? Oh, he's pre-op. He's pre-hair transplant. Imagine you'd be like, yeah, like my kid's working at like Schwab, like he's having a really good time. What's your kid doing? Like, oh, he's pre-hair transplant.
He's pre-op.
He's pre-op.
He's pre-op.
Like what? Like that's like the main thing, and it's like, yeah, like he's gonna be pre-op.
He's gonna be pre-op.
Like what happened? Like, oh no, just the hairline.
It's just the hairline.
And it can like you can do it for anything. So like you have a big wedding coming up. You're like pre-bridal. I'm pre-bridal right now. Like what?
I'm pre-traveled.
You're pre-traveled. You're pre-plane.
I'm pre-plane.
You're pre-plane. And the more ridiculous and out of touch you are, the better this bit works. My mom was like, I can't tell them that. I was like, but how funny would that be?
You're really funny.
Like, either they have a good sense of humor and they think it's hilarious, or they're so confused, which is even more hilarious to me.
I love confusing people.
I love it, especially when it's like harmless like that, because I'm making fun of myself. Yeah. Like I'm literally like, if I'm confident enough to say I'm pre-hair transplant, then it's. If you're like acting embarrassed about it, that's your problem.
That's your issue. I also like you can take it like to big extremes. Like, oh, I'm pre-breath.
takes a serious question and puts a lot of irreverence on it, and I think that's beautiful.
Which I think is that's a good dynamic. I like that. I like that very much. Yeah. That's a good bit of the week.
Thank you so much. I really liked that one. It got my parents together. They're like, "You're so ridiculous."
Can I say I'm pre-laugh?
Oh my gosh. Well,
you're too much.
Well, I'm pre-educating the straight. Camera 2. Okay, I have a tight educate the straight. We've had a lot of fun talking in this episode, so we got to keep it going.
Yes.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me at the drag shows. I'm so done. I am so done. I don't care if it's a breastplate. Don't touch me. I'm not going to touch you without asking your consent. At the most, I might like very gently graze over your shoulder. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I was at the bayou, and someone was like, "Wow, like that's a meaty tuck," and poked my penis with their finger.
Ew.
I was like, "What are you doing?
Ew.
That's sexual assault. First of all. Second of all, what do you think this is? Like that you can just like poke my penis? Like that's so crazy.
That's fucking disgusting. Ew. There's been a couple times on the bayou. I got angry at people in the audience because they were like touching you and just being weird and obnoxious. It's like, keep your fucking hands off. Like, yeah, that I agree. It's ridiculous.
I think it's people dehumanize drag queens in their head, so they're like, oh, they're just. I am your favorite piece of walking, talking visual art, but don't touch the Mona Lisa.
I was going to use the Mona Lisa as a rap.
But don't touch the Mona Lisa.
Don't touch the Mona Lisa. You can't touch the statue of David in the Louvre.
No.
So you can't touch you in the bayou.
And you know what? I will say this. If you spent longer getting ready than me, you can come up and you can start critiquing. You can tell me about this, that, and the other. But I don't even want your notes. If you have spent less than the 2.5 hours that I have spent getting ready, beyond touching me, unless you have something nice to say, don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So that was a serious educate the straight. But going into Pride Month, just remember, if you're gonna go to that drag show, don't touch.
Don't touch. Look,
don't touch.
Love, observe, but don't touch.
Don't touch.
Don't touch.
Hey.
Give.
Give back.
Promote. Support.
Donate.
Abstain from touching.
Oh! If you're pre-touching, don't go to the show.
No pre-touching. No pre-touching.
Hi, I'm going to the show. I'm pre-touching. Does that sound good?
Oh, you're pre-evicted.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me change my perspective and reevaluate my priorities. Okay, so I think that's the end of this episode. Can you believe it? I know.
Ready?
It's not what I want. It's not what you want. But we should give the listeners and the viewers what they want.
What they want, yeah.
Which is the twink.
The twink.
Twink. And the twunk of the week. All right, here we go.
You have one?
I do. My twink of the week is when you go into a parking lot and you press the button and they give you a little slip of paper that you then have to return at the end. Yes. That's my twink of the week. And let me tell you why. Sometimes you have to go validate her. She needs all of the attention.
She's so much validation.
If you lose her, you have to pay the price of losing a child to get out of the parking garage. She is so important. And if you leave her unattended in the car, you don't get to validate your parking, so you don't get it for free. She is the most needy slip of paper that I come in contact with on a daily basis.
And she slips out of your pocket so easily.
Game over.
So easily.
She essentially glossy paper. Ooh. Glossy photo glossy.
I like that.
GPG. Okay, what did you do?
Okay. My twink of the week is the actor who plays PETA in The Hunger Games.
Josh Hutcherson. That's major.
I mean, do you remember when he turned himself into a rock?
Twink.
Very twink.
That is so funny. Did you see the Friday Night at Freddy's?
Yes, I did. That was a fun movie.
He was great.
I had a great time in that movie.
He's like an elevated, normal looking person. You know what I mean? Like, you don't look at him and you're like, that's a movie star. I know. Like, oh, like, he's attractive. He's like a little more attractive than normal.
It's like if you took like a house, like a suburban house, just like upgrade it a little bit.
Right, you put in like a little elevator or something. Like, wow, that's bougie.
I've heard he's a really, really nice guy. People go to the street and like do weird shit to him and be like, yeah, great, that was awesome. And then he'll like walk away. So I think he's a nice guy.
That's nice.
Yeah, which is a very Twink thing to be.
Yeah. My Twink of the week is Boomerang.
Ooh,
let me go, Boomerang. Have you heard that song by Imagine Dragons? Also, I don't think that's Twink, but I just think, like, what are we doing with boomerangs? Like,
I don't know.
Can you make one work? Because every time I throw them, it goes in one direction.
I've never had it work.
I don't understand.
Never.
I mean, like, I guess it's a cute toy. Does it have a practical use? Is it a weapon?
I think it was a weapon.
Really, it was a weapon.
Maybe.
I think we're just saying stuff, to be honest. But I think an X-Men character could definitely have it as a weapon. I think we're just saying stuff on a podcast.
Yeah. There was a DC villain called Captain Boomerang.
See?
That's just like a bunch of boomerangs and he'd throw them. But his enemy, or his, like, enemy was the Flash. Which, like, how are you going to hit the Flash with a boomerang? Like,
that's crazy.
Isn't that insane? My Twank of the week is Pogo Sticks. Very similar energy to boomerangs, actually.
Yes, children's toys.
That's why they're both Twank.
They're both Twink.
They're both Twink. Kind of like, it's not quite Twink, it's not quite Twunk, but like when you're bouncing around, boing, 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 it's pretty Twink. When I was younger, I could do it with no hands.
Really?
A little fun Zach lore. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
You just kind of...
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So you need strong thighs.
You need thunder thighs. That's what you need. Boing!
Camera 2, did you see that?
Did I actually?
I know. We're like, was that in frame?
The angle?
Can you reply? We're like asking you a question. Stop being rude.
What's up?
Okay. My Twunk of the week is the steel-boned corset. So have you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes.
And how she like passes out, falls off the top of the thing.
Oh.
There are corsets that are literally the boning, which is like the things that connect the panels are steel.
Well, I'm familiar with boning.
Come on. You're familiar with boning! For the love of God! Can we get some decency out of you?
Don't look at me. Don't
you
look at me.
dog! You absolute dog! I need you to pull it together. Corset it in! So when you have some corsets, it's like insane. And I'm not to bring it back to Kim Kardashian's waistline, but I would love to throw some nasty men that see nothing but mean things about women into a corset for a day and humble them. And steel bone corsets are the perfect twunk to do it.
Why is it steel boned?
For structure, for like to keep it strong, to keep it tight.
Oh my gosh!
So like all the linings are steel, so when you pull it in, it keeps the shape really well.
That's insane. Yeah. Oh my! You ever break a rib with that? You think?
I think you could. Steel bone.
Wow. Steel bone.
Steel bone.
Steel bone.
And it's interesting. You can only get steel bones from Wolverine, but he regenerates, which is why it's like a limited resource. Yeah.
You know what I've thought about before? Wolverine can't get circumcised.
Because it keeps growing back. Yeah.
So
that's an interesting argument, though, because like if he cuts his hair, does it grow back? Like what? You know what I mean? Like what is the regeneration?
Well,
what is it locked into? I'm sure there's lore.
That's true. Yeah, because like you've seen him before. Yeah, that's right. When he like blows up in fire, his hair comes back to its normal length. But then I've seen him with long hair before. Could he just give infinite? Could he like donate all of his blood and then it regrows instantly? You know?
Wolverine, why aren't you more of a humanitarian?
Why aren't you doing more?
I guess he is giving all the steel bone corsets.
Well, so there it is.
There it is.
So there it is. My Twunk of the week: garbage trucks.
Ding dong.
Come on, like they drive up, they go honk honk, they throw some dump in that trunk.
They throw some dump in that trunk, and they don't care if you're sleeping. They're gonna be as loud as they want.
Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Little kids love them, you know.
And there's nothing more twunk than the future of our generation.
The future of America.
Future of America is always twunk.
Trash trucks are my twunk.
Trash trucks are twunk.
Trash trucks are very twunk.
And I think that's a wrap.
Well, yeah, I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all so much for watching, audio listeners. Thank you for auditorily listening.
Happy almost Pride Month. I hope you enjoyed this little preview. Wrapping up last year, getting ready for the new year. The content is coming. Exciting things continue to happen for both of us. Ladies and gentlemen, I would make sure your seatbelts are buckled because things are just getting started here at Twink Twank Twunk. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs. Keep your hams. Keep your hams in the vehicle at all times, people. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.